Hi and welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we have seen what method overloading is, what method overriding is, and we have seen a difference between method overriding and method hiding. So those videos are the base for today's video, which is polymorphism. Polymorphism is a very famous OOPS concept. Let's break down this thing. Poly means many and morphism means form. That is one thing having many forms. Polymorphism implies one method performing same or similar task based on different context or performing redefined task or enhanced task. That means that polymorphism actually implies that a same method name can behave differently in different situations, as we have seen in method overloading and method overriding. There are two types of polymorphism. Static binding or compile time polymorphism and dynamic binding or runtime polymorphism. So when a method is associated to an object or class during compilation is called static binding. That is method overloading, and compiler will take the decision which method to call. Whereas runtime polymorphism, a method is associated to the object during execution is called dynamic binding. For example, method overriding. That is, the JVM will take decision which method to call. Let's understand both these examples with the codes. I'm starting with a static binding or a compile time polymorphism. So here we have a class called calculator and we have a method int add int a comma int b, and it is returning a plus b. We have another method int add, same method name. However, now the parameters are different. Int a, int b, int c, and it is returning a plus b plus c. This is one class. We have another. So this is an example of method overloading, which is the same method name, but either there are changes in the method signature. And we have a public class test where we have our main method, and here we have created an object of the class calculator. So calculator c is equal to new calculator. And now we are going to do a sysout for c.add. Now until this add point, any of these two methods could run, but we still don't know because we have not added the parameters. Now I'm adding the parameters 10, 20. Now only two parameters are there, which means it is going to run this int add a comma b. That is, it is going to return a plus b, that is 30. And this while it is deciding which method to run before the method is running. So the compiler will decide. Similarly, for c.add 10, 20, 30, it will check which exactly to run. So it is this add method, and compiler will take the decision that okay, after putting the parameters, it is going to run this add method. And hence, it is called as compile time polymorphism. That is, a method is associated to the class or object during compilation, and hence it is called compile time polymorphism or static binding, and the example is method overloading that we saw. Similarly, for runtime polymorphism, we have an example. Here we have a class parent and it has a show method which prints parent show method. Now we have another class child that extends the parent. Void show, it is overriding this show method where it is printing child show method. We have another class public class test where we have the main method and we have created an object of the child and stored in the parent reference, and we are doing p.show. Since it is a non-static method, it is going to run the child show method because we have created an object of the child and non-static belongs to object. So here it is going to run child show method. That is, in this case, when we create the object and we are using p.show method, the JVM is going to take the decision after running, okay, which to call. So JVM will run inside the main method. So first it has created the object of the child, and then it is displaying the p.show method, which is child show method. And this is called method overriding because the child class implements its own method instead of the parent method. Hence, it is called a runtime polymorphism or dynamic binding. which again now means when a method is associated to the object during execution, is called dynamic binding, and the example is method overriding that we have seen. So this was about polymorphism. I hope this was easy to understand. Please go through my previous videos for method overriding and method overloading, and please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.